Thank you, band, for the beautiful music that you always share. Okay, I'm here to do a couple of announcements. They're important. You know, this is the season to be giving, and it's in this season that we acknowledge the miracle of giving because it opens our lives to receive so much more. And our Christmas production on Christmas Eve will be on the 24th, December 24th. We have 2 shows. We have one at 5 p.m., one at 7 p.m. We have tickets for those shows in the lobby. So you can pick up the tickets for the show that you would like to come to, and you can pick up some tickets for friends that you'd like to invite. So they're free, and we'd like to have you show up and enjoy the beauty of the music and the love that's being shared in our Christmas production. So 5 p.m., 7 p.m. in the lobby, pick up the tickets and show up for the show. We have a bookstore gift shop that has the most incredible gifts that have just been brought in. And they are very, very reasonably priced, unlike most of the gift shops, especially at this time. They will mark up gifts by 100%. We do not allow ourselves to mark up gifts any higher ever than 40%, and many of them are below that. So stop in the bookstore. You're going to find some gifts that are going to be beautifully, useful for you and for people that you want to give gifts to. And let's see. We have in the lobby our Christmas tree with the cards for children. Those cards on the tree have a child's name and age that you can buy a gift for. And those children are on the Wounded Knee Reservation in South Dakota because they have very little financially. Every year we serve to be their Christmas Santa Claus. So we'd like you to pick up a card from the tree. It has the name of a child on it, and buy a gift for that child and bring it back to the church before next Sunday, because next Sunday we're packing all the gifts and all the presents and stuff that people have brought for the Lakota people. So please do that. On your way and going to the bookstore to shop for yourself, take a card off the tree and make some little child's life a happy Christmas life this year. All right. And if you really want to do something that'll make life truly worth living in a beautiful fashion, if you're going to make a year-end gift, there's no place that is more deserving and will be more appreciative of a year-end tithe than Unity of Boulder. So when you're thinking about it, if you feel like you want to make some type of financial gift that's tax deductible, make it to Unity of Boulder this year. Finally, the choir rehearsal is going to be right after the second service today up here. So everyone that's in the choir, part of that, please come up on the stage here and we'll all rehearse together for this show, which is going to be amazing.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity this morning. This is the point in our service where it's a call for prayer. This is an opportunity to leave the world outside these doors and come into the presence of the power and the love that lives within each and every one of us. There's sheets of paper in front of you that you can write names down of people that might need prayer right now, and it's okay to write your own name on that piece of paper. And Steve Sheets is the head of our prayer team. He'll come down the aisle and collect those names, and they'll go in our prayer box for 30 days here and be prayed over, and then they'll be sent to Unity Village, and for another 30 days they'll be prayed over. So let's just become conduits of Spirit's love for this world. That's what we were put here to do and be. And let's bring healing and wholeness for everyone involved. We'd like to sing a song to come in the presence of this room. They say to sing is to pray twice. We encourage you to join us and sing with us. May the light guide your way home. Now you know it, sing with us. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you. Guide your way home. Guide your way home. Beautiful singing. All right, we're going to invite our entertainment club up to sing Deck the Halls. We're going to ask you to stand up and sing with us. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, la 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 la. Roll the ancient Yuletide carol, la 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 la. See the blazing Yule before us, la 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 la. Strike the harp and join the chorus, la 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 la. Follow me in merry measure, la 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 la. While I tell of Yuletide treasure, la 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 la. Fast away the old year passes, la 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 la. Hail the new year, lads and lasses, la 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 la. Sing we joyous all together, la 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 la. Heedless of the wind and weather, la 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 la.
You were great.
And now I'm going to invite Tyler Learman out to share the first Noel.
Sounds good. Oh, yeah. The first Noel, the angel did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields as they lay keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. They looked up and saw a star shining in the east beyond them far, and to the earth it gave a great light, and so it continued both day and night. Noel, 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 born is the King of
Tyler Learman, AKA my son. The kids got pulled in this week for the music because we realized we hadn't booked some music for this Sunday, and it's been one of those weeks, and I'm going to talk about astrologically what's been going on. So this morning, the gifts just kept on giving when it came to sound, to our piano, to some issues that we were dealing with. It's like technology. We're in Mercury retrograde that's ending today, thank you goodness, and we're in a full moon, but today is a day. So it's the end today, but I'll talk about a few things about that. So I had changed my talk title last night. I was just not resonating with the talk I wrote this week. I do that about once a month where it's like I'm trying to merge with the energy that wrote the original sermon, and it's like I'm just not there at this point, so I had to redo it. So if you were looking forward to the other talk, I will visit it when I'm feeling aligned. You start to learn to really listen to your soul that way when you're on the spiritual path, that sometimes we're really in a place and we write from that, and then we're so many different things and an evolvement comes from it, and it's like, no, I know this is the topic that I have to go on today. So the Christmas gift of forgiveness, a journey from burden to blessing is the title. So it's 'tis the season. It's the season of gratitude, of gift giving and receiving, reconnecting with friends and family. It's the season of lights, decorations, ugly sweaters, and eggnog. It's the season we celebrate the birth of the Christ consciousness within us here at Unity. 'Tis the season of lists of who and what we are thankful for. We have lists of what presents we are getting and for whom. Who needs another list, right? So I'm suggesting today a gift, one not received from another, but bestowed upon ourselves. A gift that transcends material possessions and outward celebrations, the gift of forgiveness. Forgiveness is often misunderstood as an act of grace offered to another. Rather, it is a profoundly generous act of self-love, and it offers salvation, which is the reconnection from the limitations these chains have wrapped around our hearts. We tend to think that by merely saying the words, "I forgive you," or "please forgive me," that some magical properties will solve the conflict and heal the wounds. And so I think we should consider what Jesus says about this in Matthew 18:21. It says, "Then Peter came to Jesus and asked, 'Lord, how many times shall I forgive my brothers or sister if they sin against me?' 'Up to 7 times?' And Jesus answered, 'I tell you, not 7 times, but 77 times.'" 77 times. So these words remind us that forgiveness is not a simple act of accounting, but an all-encompassing act of compassion, right? It's an ongoing process, right? We might think we've found a place of forgiveness with somebody that has really, really transcended against us in a negative or dark, hurtful way, and we do different levels of healing, and then you'll notice that it comes up. Sometimes, usually around our birthdays, Christmas time, there's a time about this merriment that also makes us visit the other side of merriment, which are the things that are not healed within us, right? So these words remind us that forgiveness is not a simple act of accounting, but an all-encompassing act of compassion. So here in Unity, we believe in the interconnectedness of all beings. When someone hurts us, the pain doesn't exist in a vacuum. It becomes an energy trapped within us, physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. It can take the energetic form of an illness or of anger, resentment, or sadness, blocking the flow of love and joy. When we cling to these emotions, we feed them with our thoughts and perceptions, thus creating a feedback loop. So who's been facing anything lately that's you're feeling like it needs some more visiting of forgiveness? Towards other or even self. Sometimes it's usually both, because on some level, even when we feel like we need to forgive somebody or they need to forgive us, there's two that are tangoing in that situation as well. In the book Love Without Conditions, Paul Ferrini writes it this way: "In your interaction with your brother, sister, you have a simple choice: to find him or her innocent or to find him or her guilty. This choice occurs over and over again every day, every hour, every moment. Thought by thought, you imprison your brother or sister or release them. And as you choose to treat them, so do you deliver the same judgment upon yourself. Let's read this again. Thought by thought, you imprison your brother or sister or release them. And as you choose to treat them, so do you deliver the same judgment upon yourself. So this brings us back to what we're harboring, because if we're in a place of non-forgiveness, they're not really being affected as much as we're affecting ourselves by holding ourselves in this resentment, in this place. You know, the one that's carrying this feeling of upset towards a person that you feel need to say sorry or whatever. Most often, those people have no idea that you're walking around with the kind of weight in your soul and in your body and in your spirit that you're carrying. So when we forgive somebody, we release that weight and allow ourselves fully to come back into our heart center. And it's freeing. Even if we don't think they deserve it, it's not really about us judging whether they deserve it or not. Do we deserve to have that weight leave our lives? Can we love ourselves enough to release ourselves from that bondage? So you cannot get to heaven by holding your brother or your sister down, nor will you get there if you try to carry them. Each of you has been given the means to discover your own innocence. Simply acknowledging your brother or sister and blessing them upon their journey. If they ask for your help, give it gladly, but do not try to do for your brother or sister what he or she must do for themselves. Right? So it's really like we think, well, maybe they'll get to the point where they can see that what they're doing, what weapons they're using. Is it words? Is it actions? Is it whatever? Is it lying? It's not for us to actually decide what they need to do. This entire journey is about us coming into the wholeness and knowing thyself and loving thyself with all that we come with the baggage, with all of it. We're trying to get to the center of freedom here. Our biggest goal is to enter heaven in the midst of us here. It's not about some distant day. It's not about trying to do the right things in this world so someday we get God's favor and we go to heaven or we go to hell. Because we know very much that this human experience right here can be hell right in the midst of us. So it's really about the actions of releasing oneself from the bondage of the human experience with one another when things have gone wrong. And we learn from these relationships. These relationships usually grow us and deepen us and soften us if we don't let it break us or make us jaded, right? So astrologically, the energy for this last week and weekend, this is the wording that I came across. Brace yourself for the last full moon of 2024. Why you should be cautious and not make rash decisions. This full moon is taking place in unpredictable Gemini. On the final day of Mercury retrograde, which is today, we have everything for us today. So let's go through our day in this very peaceful place, right? On the final day of Mercury retrograde, on Sunday, December 15th, which is today, the Mercury retrograde is taking place in Sagittarius, which is the opposite side to Gemini, which is sort of a battle. At least the moon has support, which is Mars, which is the god of war. So you have probably experienced people spouting nonsense, or you have been doing so as well, acting out of pocket and ready to dispute. Who's had a week where people have been disputing with you or you've been disputing with everybody else? Yeah, so let's just, today is especially a day to really, just take those words into heart and, really examine them. And you might be feeling the desire to do something you shouldn't, look up old worn-out friends or lovers. Don't do that today. Okay? And spout off what you'd like to say to them at this point. So this is a time to be emotionally heightened. This is a time to recognize that this is a powerful full moon and it will be over by tomorrow. And so this would be my suggestion for today. It's very easy, right? Just be quiet. It's a be quiet one, all right? And when I came across this astrology reading by this comedian, and it's true, this person, I really like him because he's really funny. He used different wordings about how to not say something, right? He was like, Just don't. But for me, this week, I had 2 daughters' birthdays. So last Tuesday was my elder daughter's birthday, and Wednesday was my youngest daughter's birthday. So I have 2 Sagittarius daughters, and you can see that Sagittarius is involved in this astrology chart. They really weren't my problem, but I went out for dinner with my daughter and my best friend, who's also Sagittarius. And it was a perfectly good night until I decided to go to the restroom for a second, and Arinya said something, my daughter, to my best friend, something that probably shouldn't have come up without me sitting there. And I came out, and it was like, it was a problem. Okay, so I was now somewhat in trouble because I was discussing something with my daughter. Probably, you know how we do that? It's like, it's my daughter. I tell her everything. So the night went south. I go home. I'm like completely exhausted. Like, I don't even know what happened right there. And my daughter didn't mean to do that to me, but it was just like, I never was like, don't say anything, whatever. I made a mistake. I go home to my house, and I'm like super ready to chill. And I walk in, and Tyler is not supposed to be there because he's supposed to be celebrating his sister's birthday at his father's house. And he looks completely traumatized. I'm like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, how did it go? And he just collapses in my arms and is just losing it about his interaction with his father. And I'm thinking, you know, like, what is going on in the stars? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just had this, like, I'm ready to chill. And then I come home to, like, another thing, and I have to be mommy in this vulnerable place that I've just had with my friend. And I'm thinking, something is going on, right? So that's where the forgiveness topic came up. It was like the other sermon wasn't going to work for me because I can tell that relationships that haven't been fully healed are really getting into this vibratory place where hard discussions have to happen. Who's been having hard discussions with friends and family? And who knows that you need to have them and you're avoiding them like the plague? Yeah, there's more of those. Yeah, see, I'm a Libra. I'm a professional at that. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to avoid them. They all just kind of came and fell on my lap, right? So it's interesting because my daughter and my friend from that gathering, we realized that Sagittarius and Gemini are the opposing energies that were there. So we have 3 Sagittariuses that I have in my life that were at the core of what was going on. And while I'm holding my son, who is an Aquarius, and I'm a Libra, so we're both air energies, so we're very soft, we're very empathetic, we're not fire, and those are fire energies. So he and I can't quite stand up to those energies. And so, but yet all of our best friends tend to be the fire signs or the water signs. So I'm holding him and I'm thinking, what could his father have said to him tonight, right? And then it goes back down to that guilt and that shame of a marriage that I had and the person that I had to leave them with for my own self-support, for a love for myself. And that this is a person they still have to interact with, and just all that came up with it. And I was looking back and thinking about how the holidays always seem to bring up this particular person in my life, and how there's always more and more to be uprooted and healed. And I'm not saying this person is wrong or terrible. I'm just saying this wasn't a perfect match in my world, and it doesn't seem to be for my children either. So I was thinking about a show that I watched over a year ago, with the idea from the burden to blessing from forgiveness. And it reminded me of The Crown. Did any of you guys watch The Crown on Netflix? It's really amazing. I mean, if you really want to be swept away, and there's tons of these seasons, so if you want to just disappear, it's amazing. But there's a scene where after years of a miserable marriage between Prince Charles and Princess Diana, they finally come to an agreement and a settlement to move forward with a divorce. This very public display of Charles' affair with Camilla from even before the marriage with Princess Diana was married, and a very isolated and lonely Princess Diana are finally going to be freed from a marriage that was no longer serving either one of them and probably never was. In the scene, Prince Charles has been told that his divorce is finalized, and you're watching the cheers of champagne with his divorce lawyers and counsel in the slow motion portrayal of Prince Charles with his phony outer smile, with this look of pure anguish within his being. This divorce that he was so wanted was eating him up when he really gets to the goal of a divorce he was so fighting for. It doesn't bring him the peace and happiness he was seeking. You see him the next morning showing up to Princess Diana's house or estate, and she sees him driving up the drive, which he never visited her at her house. It seemed he had no compassion of her plight in the monarchy ever. She answers the door and asks Prince Charles, "Why are you here?" He says, "I don't know. I got in my car and it just drove here." She invites him in, and they proceed to share in a beautiful and raw scene of them hashing out all the ways they hurt each other. But most importantly, Prince Charles takes a lot of ownership of his part. I remember myself weeping during this interaction because it was so beautifully directed. It was so raw. It was definitely somebody who'd been through a divorce to understand how hard it is to end something that's no longer good for you, but it's also the ending of a family. In that moment, I'm thinking about this time of what it was like to have that dissolution of marriage and how I never got that last conversation. Who has had that, where you've left a relationship and you never got to complete or heal in a last conversation? Yeah, right? And it's so rare that we really get to end relationships that you spent 10 years, 15 years, your life was this relationship, and you don't get that one last conversation where you can just see each other as perfect children of God, because that's what we are. We all are. Regardless of what happened in that situation, everybody's a perfect child of God. And we have the right to be forgiven. And we have the right to have the opportunity to forgive the other as well. So in that holding of my son, I'm visualizing all of this, all of the forgiving on my end and from the other side, and the pain that my children have to live in that, because I had to make a decision for my good. So who relates to that as a mom? Right? This is a fun topic, right? Let's do it at Christmas time. I can only be authentic and totally raw up here, otherwise I can't do this thing, right? I guess you thought I was going to talk about the birth of Christ within you today. We'll get to that, I promise. Okay, so in love without conditions. Paul Farina again says it masterfully: do not make the mistake of giving your brother or sister the power to forgive you. This places power outside of yourself where it can never be. Ask for their forgiveness, but if they withhold it, do not assume that forgiveness will never be yours. Indeed, it is always yours. Those who withhold forgiveness only withhold it from themselves, and vice versa. Those who withhold forgiveness holds it from others and themselves, right? So it really is a matter of taking it on with God, right? And I guess what I'm trying to get at is that this season isn't all about Christmas cheer. This season is about eventually landing on the birth of Christ within us. And so sometimes we have to go visit some of the unhealed parts of ourselves. And I want to share this video with you really quickly with somebody that you would think would never have any problems in their life.
I've had some challenges in the last couple of years myself, and ultimately, I believe that suffering leads to salvation. We have to somehow accept, not deny, but feel our suffering, and then we make one of two decisions. We either decide to go through the gate of resentment, which leads to vengeance, which leads to self-harm, which leads to harm to others, or we go through the gate of forgiveness, which leads to grace. Just as Christ did on the cross, he suffered terribly, and he was broken by it, to look upon the people who were causing that suffering, or the situation that was causing that suffering, with compassion and with forgiveness.
So even in those worst moments, Jesus was also speaking to the people that were causing the suffering and speaking upon them with compassion and grace, right? And we know, there's many things that we talk about of wanting to achieve love, peace, joy, the illumination of light and love in our experience. And we tend to stay on that side of things, and we think the spiritual work is about this higher light place. But our greatest growth comes from the suffering, from the loss, from the discord, from the things that have broken us, right? And I would say that this person that's the father of my kids has been one of the greatest teachers of my life and continues to be, right? The gift that keeps on giving. Thank you, God. Thank you. And I don't think I could stand up here if I hadn't faced my pain and the shame from these kind of experiences. I couldn't stand up here if I hadn't lost a child and understand what a broken heart is, what a shattered heart is. I do know that there is suffering in this human condition, and Unity people tend to not talk to that very often. They want to be very law of attraction, very light, very, it's all good, it's a goodness day, it's a goddess day. They talk like with this phony part of life when it's all from love. Because in Unity we know God is good. There's one presence and one power in the universe, God the good. And so when we're experiencing things of limitation, separation, and a lack of forgiveness, those things aren't of God. They are of the human condition. We're not operating from a state of high consciousness. It's lowering us to the human part of ourselves, where we have to deepen and deepen our spiritual work in this physical vessel. And nobody gets by without the suffering, because the suffering is the grower. That's where we find the grace of God, right? In the worst pain in your life, in the moments that you're the most broken, is where we experience the grace, when we feel the closest to Spirit. And it's an interesting thing, because some people start to get kind of comfortable in that suffering because they love that connection with God that's so palpable in that place. And I was that person for years. I forgot how to find my joy. I forgot how much I am the Christ. I forgot that the illumination is the next piece when we go into those dark shadows of the soul. That we came in here with a demonstration. We came in here with a plan. And I believe we made a plan before we came here. And we said, you know what, we're willing to go through this, this, and this, and this. All the joys, all the difficulties, all the things that we've all signed up. So I have this person that I married that decided to teach me about forgiveness this lifetime. That's a huge sacrifice for somebody to make. To be the one that had to teach me how to forgive. I don't want to be the person that wants to teach somebody how to forgive somebody. But we all play a part in the deepening and the understanding of this human condition, because it's all intertwined, because we're spiritual souls having infinite lifetimes over and over and over again, but each lifetime we're here to grow. And Edgar Cayce, who's the most documented psychic and proven psychic, stated the soul's either here to grow or go backwards. And you're the one that can judge it. You have free will. So you have kind of this like divine order, this kind of karmic contract life. And we're the ones that have the opportunity to keep stepping in. And a lot of times we retreat when it gets too hard. But when you're in that hard place, when you're in that suffering, when you're in that difficulty, the universe is saying, keep going. Keep going, because the person that's going to come out on the other side of this is a completely empowered, embodied, spiritual being that's ready for this next phase. But you won't be ready for all this goodness, all this abundance, all this light, all this amazement if you don't go inside. Because the heaven of God is within the very midst of you, it says. It's within you. You create it. Your thoughts, your words, your actions, your spirit, you create this. So when we say we can't forgive someone because of something they did, what if they showed up to teach you to forgive? Or they showed up to teach you to surrender. Or they showed up to teach you to let go of your will and trust the universe. Because everything is in divine order, especially the painful stuff. Because when we can really clean house, then the birth of Christ. The birth of Christ consciousness can awaken within us. The next day, after my son was that upset, I had to sleep on it and figure out how to meet him with the feeling of what was going on. And I told him, when I left that marriage, every single night I cried for 2 hours for 2 years with the level of what it left me as. I didn't know it was up or down. I didn't know who I was. I had every bit of my being had been taken away from me by trying to survive in the picture of this person. And now it's your turn. You're younger. You're fresher. You're ready. I've had you. I've been supporting you. I've been giving you the skills. You don't have to let this break you. You get to see this person as a perfect child of God. And now you get to decide how you want to participate in that. That's where you have choices. You can walk away from things that hurt you. Did you know that? Isn't that a crazy idea? We can walk away people that hurt us. I didn't realize that because I always saw the Christ consciousness in everyone, so I thought I had to keep working at something. And did you know sometimes we're at different levels energetically with people? And sometimes they're just there for a minute. Sometimes they're there for a season. And sometimes they're there for a lifetime. But every one of those things were important. They all had some type of nugget, golden nugget in it. So there's this woman, Jenny Denavi, that says this: spirituality is not just love and light. Spirituality can be very hard. It is not for the weak ones. It is for the most brave souls out there. To have the courage to go down that road, spirituality is how you learn to embrace both darkness and light. And it is not in the light that we get enlightened, that is in darkness. So in that darkness is where you find your strength. It is where you find your resilience, your courage, and it also where you build your whole character. So never be afraid to go into your own darkness, because the strongest version of you is not born in the light. The strongest version of you is born in the darkness. Who has experienced that? The hardest things that I've ever been through are where I faced self and learned who she was through the many lifetimes, where we remember who we actually are, where we finally get to tap into all the knowledge spiritually and emotionally and physically that we learned many lifetimes. But for some reason, when we come into a lifetime, we forget it all. The spiritual process, as we go delve into the darker areas of our being, we start to hear and remember our true selves. Our true selves. Because we came in with all this knowledge. I'm not on this platform here telling you something you don't know. The reason why you come to Unity is because you're sitting here going, God, yeah, I remember me. I remember myself. I'm here reminding and reflecting to you what is the truth about the spiritual experience. There is no separation from you and God. God is you in action. Yes, there's this intellectual, spiritual energy that moves in and through us, and there's moments where we feel it closer and we see it far away, and I don't like to say, I am God, but we are the vessel, we are the energy, we are everything, we are the open, we are the surrender, we are the gateway for all the healing and the gifts that is asked in this world. This second coming of Jesus Christ is you and me. There is no second coming. So as we keep going inwards to reflect on what we are bringing to this life, are we carrying around our baggage of non-forgiveness for others, for parents in the past, for situations that broke us, and we're living from a broken vessel? Or are we done with that victimhood? Yep, I like that. That was conviction right there. I think that just popped out of that person's mouth and didn't even mean to do it. Right? It was like, yeah, I'm ready. God, let's get this thing over with. Right? This is your chance. This is your moment. Collectively, we're all focusing on our wanting to show love for others, give things that we probably can't afford, do all the things that we do at Christmas time. But what if we take the time to gift ourselves with more love, more acceptance, more kindness, speaking better to ourselves, allowing ourselves to see that the things that broke us also have been a gift to us. Look at the glass from a half full cup. Yeah, those things happened to me. Yeah, those things are not exactly how I would have liked it to have worked out. But I got this out of this, and I got this out of this. I got these children out of this. I got all these wonderful insights out of this. So can I release this person today? Or can I forgive myself for doing something where I had to teach somebody how to forgive me? Or all of the above. So I'm going to take us into meditation. And we're just going to get comfortable. And we'll ask Mike, my husband, who became the sound guy today, too. What would I do without Mike? I mean, I would have had Mike if I didn't go through all this, right? Right? That's a blessing. All right, so let's just close our eyes and take some deep breaths in. Out with a... Let's become aware of our bodies, our breath, our roots, sitting on our seats, keeping our back straight and feeling our body relaxing, but not leaning on the pew, but getting a nice connection from Father Sky down to Mother Earth through our feet. I expect there's someone or something that has come up for you during this talk that is ready for forgiveness. We're all going to do this together, the old-fashioned way, as a family, as a tribe, as a community. We're going to collectively move some energy today. So I'm going to ask you to imagine above your head, about a foot, is this radiating vortex of light that's moving in a circle. This swirling energy is collecting all the stagnant energy we are releasing and renewing today. And those of you who are joining us online, please join us now in this meditation. There is no time, space in the spiritual. So you can join us and move in this collective family as we renew old energies. So now we're going to bring to mind someone that might be somebody that we need to forgive right now or needs energy from us. And I'm going to ask you in your mind's eye to speak your truth to them and share your hurt and what you've been through because of the interactions that you have shared with this person. Let your emotions flow out of you and see the swirling light above you collecting all of that energy. Communicate the essence of it, not the details. Give it away and give it to God today. Take a deep breath in, and as you slowly breathe out, whisper the words, "Thank you. I love you. I forgive you." And now I'm going to have you call in another person in the same order and silently speak your truth to them. let those emotions flow out of you. Seeing the swirling light above you, this vortex pulling all of that limitation out of your being. And no longer serving you, and knowing that you can let it go. That the story does not have to be a part of your experience any longer. And if you can get comfortable with it and you're ready, finish with these words. Thank you. I love you. I forgive you. And later on, if you want to go home and do this process with more people, it's a beautiful, powerful way to start releasing the energies that keep you from your wholeness and bringing all your power and your light back into your vessel, your spirit, your mind, body, here and now. The fruits of forgiveness are freedom. And I set myself and anyone connected to me to be free. I forgive you. I forgive myself. We are all forgiven. And so with that, we come back into this room, releasing these old, worn-out energies to the universe to take, so that we may come back so vibrantly illuminated in this Christ light being that we are. And we say, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have no complaints whatsoever. Amen. We'll take an offering for unity now. Is everybody here?
All I keep thinking when I listen to the beautiful thoughts being shared up here is how blessed we are to be able to share these thoughts about life and how to find our way into living life more effectively and beautifully. So I got to say something about that tree full of cards with the children's names on it. Every year we usually don't get all the cards off the tree. And so it's up to the members of our family to take those cards and get those children gifts. It may be that you'll have to take 2 cards in order to get enough of those cards off the tree. But you're going to feel so good because you're probably not going to be buying a gift for anyone who is more in need of a gift than these children on that really impoverished reservation. So think about that as you're leaving here and to pick up your tickets for the 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock show. Stop at the tree, at least take 1 card with you and get a gift for that child. That would be the most beautiful thing you can do today.
Jack,
Okay, yeah?
can I say something?
Sure.
Because I wrote up these cards. So a lot of them, for the younger kids, they say 2. They just have an age and they don't have boy or girl. That's because we didn't get a list from Wounded Knee for the younger kids. But those younger kids exist. So that's why these cards don't have names on them or boy or girl. But they still, those little kids especially, need gifts.
So the cards only have the age, they don't have the name.
They only have the age.
Yeah.
No name, no gender.
Every one of those cards represents a child on that Wounded Knee reservation. So do that beautiful thing and take one of those cards, or if you want to, take 2 of them and get a couple of gifts, bring them back here. So we'll make their Christmas a beautiful one, a loving one. Okay, here we can bring into our hands that gift we'd like to make to Unity of Boulder. And let's bless this gift with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is. Amen. Oh, we have Arinya River White, Arinya River White, to sing a Christmas song for us. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Abounds within this vision. Your sovereign hand will be my guide. My faith may fail and fear surrounds me. You've never failed, for your love is power. Still I will call upon your name and pledge my soul to do your will. When fears arise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I am yours and you are God. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me
singing at the Christmas Eve show. She's one of our main soloists, so is Ty. And we've got Sierra, Samuel. You know many of our soloists that will be here for the big show, so make sure you pick up your tickets and get tickets for your friends, too. The services are December 24th at 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. We want to let you know we have prayer partners available to you if you're facing a challenge today. They're standing up over here with the white sashes on. At the completion of the service, you can just stay seated, and they will come and take you down to the meditation room because we'll be going into a rehearsal in here right after the service. There will be no discussion group today or next Sunday because I have to be in here working with the production. But then we'll do it when the Burning Bowl happens the last Sunday of December. We'll be back together and be able to meet that way.
We're good.
All right, let's all rise and close with Let There Be Peace on Earth, and we'll just do it where we're standing right now. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Yes. Also know we have refreshments in the fellowship hall as well. I read